And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We were talking about Max Verstappen during practice being, well, not particularly nice to Lewis Hamilton, even though it was Lewis Hamilton's fault, pulling up alongside him and turning the wheel, being a bit silly. However, how the tide has turned, Max Verstappen, what an absolute lap. And, I mean, I'm not saying he's criticised, but quite often, even here, we say he's in the fastest car, best driver-car combination, what do you expect? However, today, I don't think he was in the fastest car. Many people think he was not in the fastest car. When you look at the difference between Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, that was absolutely, without doubt, a Max Verstappen lap. And it's something that we haven't seen really that much most of 2023, where he hasn't really had to dig deep, even against his teammate, which he's absolutely dominating. We saw it with Lewis not digging, quite often with Valtteri Bottas. He didn't have to dig too deep. There were times when he did. And I think you can make an argument with Rosberg. There may be more times that Hamilton had to. And it's still and it was a kind of maybe a question mark over Verstappen these last couple of years. It's easy. He's just in the best car. However, today, he had to dig deep. He had a horrible Friday for practice 1 and practice 2. A very average practice 3. But wow, he did turn up in qualifying. And the boy did good. I imagine he made his father proud. He made Red Bull proud. And for the first time, I think, this year, he made himself proud when you look at the fact that he was really, really happy over the radio. So let's look at the qualifying then, shall we? This is the qualifying. Bear in mind that Verstappen did get that pole. There's talk about would he have got that pole though without that Hulkenberg toe. We'll get into that in a bit. Still not taken away. An amazing lap. Piastri second, but he's starting 5th. Norris will be starting on the finished qualified 3rd, out-qualified by Piastri, only just, but still out-qualified by Piastri. He's going to be starting on the first row, second. Then we've got Leclerc and Sainz, out-qualified by both McLarens. Now, I think going into Imola, with that Ferrari package, looking at practice 1 and 2, that's something that you probably would have been slightly surprised, as in both McLarens beating both Ferraris, especially Leclerc. He did look really good. 6th was Russell, solid job there. I think he got the absolute best he could have done out of that Mercedes. 7th, one of the guys who qualifying at one point, in Q2, Tsunoda was 2nd. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Excuse me. Lewis Hamilton 8th. I think he's a couple of tenths of Russell. He probably will be a bit disappointed. But out of the two Mercedes drivers, I felt he really was struggling throughout the weekend. Ricciardo 9th. Again, compared to Tsunoda, he was struggling, but when it counted, he did it. Hulkenberg in 10th. And the biggest outlier here, yes, 11th, Sergio Perez. We'll get on him in a bit. 12th is Ocon. 13th Stroll, 14th Albon, 15th Gasly. Then we have Bottas, Zhou, Magnussen, Alonso, who had an absolutely woeful qualifying, and Logan and Logan Sargent. So let's get into those winners and losers then of qualifying before we carry on. And for me, let's be fair. I mean, the biggest winner is going to be this guy here, Max Verstappen. As I said at the top of the show, massive qualifying lap. People doubted whether he'd do it, but he did, and that was definitely more Max, I think, than the Red Bull. It showed you, yes, the driver, when it's close, the driver can make a difference. You still need a good car, but when you want those few extra tenths, the 3-4 tenths, there you go. You have Max Verstappen. The driver can make a difference. But let's talk about his teammate. If Max did a really good job, Sergio Perez a very average job. And no, I don't think Sergio Perez's career is in danger at the moment. Yes, he qualified 11th. And when we're looking at it, he did a 1:15.7 in Q2. And Max Verstappen did a 1:15.1. So there is a fairly sizable gap. But one swallow doesn't make a summer. And that even means in terms of having a bad performance. He's had quite a solid start to the year. The concern's going to be, if this continues, then yes, we are potentially going to be slightly concerned. But I just want to give this guy here the props. Tsunoda, I mean, in Q2, I think he was second fastest, wasn't he? And he's ended up qualifying 7th, beating his teammate, beating a Mercedes. I mean, who would imagine that? It's going to be really interesting to see what he's going to be doing for his pace in the race. I mean, yeah, absolutely fascinating. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait. And the biggest loser of qualifying is this guy here. Had that accident in practice 3. Very un-Alonso. This has been the most un-Alonso weekend since he's come back into Formula 1. Now, for a second, I'm not going, he's too old now, he's signed that contract, he's lost it. We're allowed bad weekends. Everyone has bad weekends, don't they? But yeah, slightly surprising, and he's kind of like written off the race as well. So let's see what's going to happen there. So other stories. I mean, this is from Planet F1, and the data shows that Max Verstappen did get that toe on his way to pole, but did it give him pole? So as we know, after what was, let's be fair, one of the closest qualifying sessions of the year, Max Verstappen took what many thought was an unexpected pole position. Now, aside from pulling out his magic Max lap, there's been some suggestion that he did need some outside help. For example, McLaren did appear quicker than Max Verstappen, and Ferrari did at one point in the practice session. And Nico Hülkenberg, they said, was the indirect protagonist that helped Verstappen's lap. He was on a cool-down lap in the middle of the start-finish straight when Max Verstappen started his final Q3 attempt, and the Dutchman, he benefited for a slipstream that the Haas driver provided, and it clearly, they're saying, made a difference compared to the two McLarens. Now, according to the numbers, the slipstream helped Max gain more than 7 kilometres an hour of top speed over his rivals, and the RB20, as we know, is already really efficient on the DRS, and that a lot of people are suggesting that may well have given him pole position. And it wasn't only that, it wasn't only that was good news for Max. Oscar Piastri, he was given a 3-place grid penalty for impeding impeding Kevin Magnussen. And that was in Q1. Piastri blocked Haas driver. It looked really similar. If you look on yesterday to the it looked really similar to the Max Verstappen Lewis Hamilton block. See if we can find it. So when I saw that, I thought, he's going to get a penalty, which is such a shame. Which is kind of why I'm secretly glad that he did not get pole position, because that would be even worse, wouldn't it? Oscar Piastri, Kevin. Let's see if we can find it on the Twitter's blocking. I'm struggling to find it. I've got the struggling to find the clip. Here we go. Here's the clip. So let's quickly just share the screen and give our thoughts about it. So here we go. Hot lap 2. So this is Kevin Magnussen. And he's coming down. There's Oscar Piastri. You can quite clearly see him in front. And he goes and he's slow. He's slow in the corner. Magnussen's already on the radio, and as you can see, he kind of makes a mistake there. So I do think absolutely Oscar Piastri's fault. If it wasn't Oscar's fault, then you got to really level it with the McLaren garage not giving Oscar, not telling us to get out of the way. And it's not like on a straight. What more? To be fair to Kevin Magnussen, what more could Kevin Magnussen have done? Absolutely nothing. So I think that penalty, it's kind of justified. It was, absolutely bang to rights. I think Mr. Piastri was, which is a massive shame. But once again, which is why I'm secretly happy that he did not get that. He did not get that pole position, because that would have been even worse, wouldn't it? So who is going to win the race? I have no idea. Now, in the race runs in practice, it appeared that Max maybe wasn't as strong, but that was before they kind of sorted his car out a bit. But his car still looked like it was a bit on edge. And we know Max likes it on edge. He's probably one of the few drivers that can actually drive that car, can drive that car the way it is. So it's going to be interesting. I think if he keeps the lead, he's probably favourite for the race. But if he loses the lead, and we've got Lando Norris next to him, and Lando Norris that everyone says the only thing that seems to be missing from Norris's toolbox, so to speak, is a bit of aggression. And I think with Piastri on the front row, I think Piastri is more aggressive than Lando. So it's going to be interesting. Max versus Lando into the first corner. The two people that battled it out at Miami, round 2. Who is going to win? Who knows? We could get a Ferrari win as well. But I do think between Ferrari, McLaren and Red Bull, and significantly though, the biggest sticking point for Red Bull is there's no Sergio Perez. He's all the way back in 11th. So there is no Sergio Perez to help Max Verstappen. Yeah. So I can imagine Christian Horner is not too pleased about that. Anyway, if you made it to the end, because it's really, really late, it's nearly 1 o'clock on the 19th of May as I'm recording, like and subscribe. That would be amazing. If you just do one of them or you just make it to the end, that is brilliant. If you do two of them, like, make it to the end, or like and subscribe, you're going to be a world champion, a multiple world champion in our eyes. Thank you very much. We'll catch you after the race. Speak to you soon.